Why are we paying for all these subscriptions? I did some really deep research to find some crazy things of why we're paying every single month when we've already paid for the product. And the last thing over here will blow your freaking mind. The OG subscription businesses are probably your panwalas, the doodhwala, and your newspaper guy. And what's wrong with it? We've been doing it for many years. The difference is now the subscription has gone from the physical space to the digital space. And here is what we found something interesting. It's about a new company which taught us a new way to pay for a service, Salesforce. Salesforce was selling software. Before it, people would basically buy the software and own the frickin' software. Salesforce changed this. They had a pay-as-you-go model for enterprises, and they renamed it to Software as a Service, SaaS. Since the Salesforce explosion, businesses and subscription models have been in sort of like a love affair. More and more business categories are actually exploring subscription services as a business model, and the math is mathing. In 2020, the subscription economy was worth $650 billion. And in 2025, it's expected to be around $1.5 trillion. These businesses know how to give you free trials, hop on their ride, and the most famous OG trick, make you feel special. Special is ironic because more and more people are moving towards subscriptions and they're actually just a statistic. So over here, what we found was interesting. You can see here in every single category, you have people interested in subscription like clothing and fashion. You can also see household groceries. And the cost of subscriptions per month for say e-learning is 700 rupees, gaming is 550, wellness is 553, even music services command 400 rupees a month. But what happens when the subscription traps innocent people in the name of convenience? Imagine spending thousands of rupees on a printer, on the ink cartridges, on the electricity, and then you can't use the printer.
And the reason it's not printing says payment method needs updating.
My partner and I got a new printer and it just wouldn't print at all.
Cannot print with the installed cartridge.
The ink is completely full. I replaced it like last week.
This is a real story about an actual HP printer user. He's not allowed to use a third-party ink cartridge and has to use the expensive ones sold by the company. If the ink is low, then you can't use fax or scanning, which has nothing to do with ink. And the worst part is, if you cancel the ink cartridge subscription, the entire printer becomes unusable. Why?
Our goal was to reduce the number of what we call unprofitable customers.
That makes actual no sense. And it's not just your printer, it's other products too, like a fitness band which costs 26,000 rupees, allows you to use its product for a full year. After which you've got to buy a subscription to use the exact same product, but now you're paying for the analytics and everything else because all your data is there. It's basically selling your data back to you, and the one car companies use are even funnier. No, I really mean it. So in the UK, it's really cold. Obviously, it's a cold country, so people want heated seats. A person who's bought a BMW car and owns that car actually has to pay a subscription for heated seats. And Toyota even introduced a subscription for key fobs for a remote start. There's even a case where Mercedes is charging a subscription fee for faster acceleration. Guys, someone's bought the product. Why are you putting stuff like this behind a paywall? But you know the crazy bit? When you actually own it and you have to pay a little bit more, you sort of do end up paying a little bit more. And then some companies give you free access to their product with a free trial. Now you'll say there's nothing wrong with a free trial, and there isn't. But wait till I tell you a story. I remember a time when you would go online, sign up for a trial, and if you didn't like it, you just abandoned it and nothing would happen. But not now. Now they'll take your credit card and you'll forget about the credit card because the trial period is just long enough, and if you forget to cancel, they'll frickin' charge you. Has it ever happened to you? you forgot about cancelling your subscription and you were charged. So let's talk about Spotify. Spotify is one of those apps which is used for passive usage, which means you'll do it while you're running, you're cooking, you're driving. Basically, you're not actively using the app. Now, the great thing about a passive app is that you do it with your existing habits. So if you go to the gym in the morning, you might get used to using the Spotify playlist during your gym, or maybe when you're driving home, or some part of your habits. Spotify knows this, so it's given a 3-month-long trial with all of its capabilities. You start to use it, and after the 3 months, they withdraw those exact same features which was making your life amazing. And now you gotta pay for it, even if it's a low amount. In India, users can't play songs in a specific order, repeat songs, or tap back to their previous songs. And these features will instead only be available to premium subscribers. I think it's a great app, but it's a little sneaky trick a lot of companies are using. At a couple of bucks a day, it's not a lot, but now you're addicted and you gotta pay the subscription forever. Let's take OTT for an example. And here we can see India's growth on OTT is outrunning the average. This is enabled by the internet and UPI and sustained with a little thing called UPI Autopay. Like if I open my phone right now, I can check that my Netflix Autopay on UPI is set to 2053. It means that till 2053, Netflix can continue to withdraw from my account its amount if I don't hit the cancel button. How convenient for them. And you know what's interesting? It's affecting people in a deep, scarring way. You, come here. Lambu. This is Lambu, Amardeep. He looks after sound. He's getting engaged next year and his autopay just renewed.
सब बता दो सर.
Tinder. So what's basically happening here is that they're trying to take a maximum amount from the user without any additional services that they're giving to them. And the problem here is not even that. It's actually that your choice is being taken away from you. As a consumer in a capitalist society, according to Adam Smith, the most important power each one of us have is that we get to vote which company wins and which loses with the choices that we make from the products that we choose to buy. But if that choice is taken away from us, it's no longer fair. Like the bundling issue. Sometimes you've bought a certain service and they give you a bunch of free services as well, which are also subscriptions, signed you up, and sometime in the future, it may auto-renew. They're taking away your choice. Then there's the case of overlapping services. You may buy 1, 2, 3, 4 music services because you forgot the other one is automatically auto-renewing, especially if the amount is really, really low. I know sometimes 100 rupees may not matter to someone, but why would you pay for something you're not actually using? And this is why people are sick and tired of subscriptions, like covered in this article beautifully. And I'd love to show you this article, but I can't because this article is behind a freaking paywall and you need a subscription. Ugh. It's so weird, it's made it to Reddit where people are talking about this. It's kind of crazy, but the best thing about a subscription business is that you can opt out. Press the cancel button, exit, leave. And I found something crazy that'll blow your mind. When you want to cancel, it's bad for the business. Maybe it's what you want, but not what the business wants. I want you to see this example of Adore Me. When a customer would go to buy something over there, normally to shop just once, they would automatically convert that customer into a subscription paying customer without their consent. So even if they didn't buy anything the next month, they would still pay a subscription amount. That's crazy. And once they found out and had to cancel it, they would show weird things like store credits and deter you from actually canceling. You see, the subscription model is absolutely fine, but these dark patterns is taking away a choice and definitely is deceitful. The root of all of this is convenience. UPI Autopay is making things easier for these guys. Meanwhile, we are writing an entire thesis on cancellation flows. I'm not kidding. Check this out. It's called the Iliad flow. And the flow basically talks about how you have to go through multiple dark patterns, screens to actually just cancel. In fact, in an Amazon Prime cancellation flow, you have to go through 3 different screens to actually cancel. And in all these screens, there are 70 dark patterns. We actually counted it. And this research paper even dissected every single page. Of course, they have to protect their business, but why make it so hard for you to cancel? And some companies won't even let you cancel after this, making it even harder, saying, send us an email and someone will call you or speak with you before you can actually cancel. Back in the day, we used to do this with gym memberships. They used to take a whole year's worth of money and then they just didn't let you cancel. Like this crazy hotel collection diffuser proudly on its FAQ page says, you're not allowed to cancel. The average cancellation flow anywhere on the internet has about 6.2 dark patterns, including cute pandas and puppies. Then we looked through the internet to find a tool that can find all of our subscriptions so we can easily cancel them. And we did. This magic tool also has a subscription so we can cancel other subscriptions. Oh my God, what is wrong with you, internet? Now, there are some fixes. The government is trying to bring new regulations to actually fix all these things. Like merchants must disclose all these norms before the autopay is happening. And even in India, there was an autopay reset just a while back. And I'm sure in time, we'll find a solution. 20 years ago, when you bought something, you actually owned it. Today, because you want unlimited songs, unlimited movies, unlimited everything, you pay for a subscription and you end up owning nothing. The question is, do you really own it, or does the subscription own you?